Have you ever wondered why some people are just so good at getting their point across? Well, the secret lies in the art of communication. It's the golden thread that ties our world together, a fundamental skill that's as vital as breathing. From the personal to the professional, effective communication paves the way for understanding and harmony. Imagine a world where every thought, every idea, every emotion is expressed clearly and understood perfectly. It's the difference between a successful conversation and a disastrous misunderstanding. It's the bridge that connects great leaders with their teams and the magic wand that transforms good relationships into great ones. But mastering this art doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey, a quest to convey and comprehend with clarity and confidence. So, are you ready to dive into the world of effective communication? Buckle up, as this journey is going to be quite enlightening. Communication might seem simple, but there's a lot more to it than you might think. Let's break it down, shall we? We've got 5 key elements that make up the communication process: the sender, the receiver, the message, the channel, and the feedback. The sender is the individual who kickstarts the conversation. They have a thought or an idea they want to share, but it's not as easy as opening your mouth and letting words tumble out. No, the sender has a responsibility to ensure their message is clear, concise, and comprehensible. After all, if a tree falls in a forest and no one is there to hear it, does it make a sound? Next up, we have the receiver. This is the person or people on the receiving end of the message. Their job? To listen, understand, and interpret the message. But let's not forget, listening isn't just about being silent when someone else is talking. It's about actively engaging, showing interest, and seeking clarification if something isn't clear. Now on to the message. This is the information or idea that the sender wants to convey. The message is the heart of communication. It's the reason we're all here, folks. But remember, it's not just about what you say, but also how you say it. Tone, pitch, and delivery can dramatically change the way a message is received. The channel is the medium through which the message is sent. This could be face-to-face conversation, a phone call, an email, or even a good old-fashioned letter. The channel you choose can have a significant impact on how your message is interpreted. Finally, we have feedback. This is the receiver's response to the message. It's what lets the sender know if their message has been understood, or if, like a game of Chinese whispers, it's been lost in translation. Understanding these elements can drastically improve your communication skills. You'll not only become a better speaker, but also a better listener. Remember, communication is not just about speaking. It's about understanding the complete picture. You've got 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. It's not just an old saying, it's a profound truth. The balance of our anatomy hints at the importance of active listening in our daily interactions. Active listening isn't about nodding your head while you mentally plan your dinner. It's about being fully present, engaged, and responsive to the speaker. It's about setting aside distractions and giving your full attention to the person talking. It's about truly hearing what's being said, and not just the words, but the emotions, the subtle cues, the unspoken messages. So how can we become better at this crucial skill? Well, there are several practical tips you can put to use. First, maintain eye contact. This doesn't mean staring creepily into someone's eyes, but rather showing that you are focused and interested in what they're saying. It's a non-verbal way of saying, I'm here, I'm listening, and you have my undivided attention. Second, resist the urge to interrupt. It's easy to jump in with your thoughts and opinions, but remember, this is their time to talk. So, practice patience. Let them finish their sentences, even their thoughts. Show them that their voice matters. Third, give feedback. This doesn't mean offering solutions or advice, but rather summarizing what you've heard, asking clarifying questions, or expressing empathy. It's about making the speaker feel heard and understood. But remember, active listening is more than a checklist of do's and don'ts. It's an attitude, a way of being. It's about caring enough to truly understand another person's perspective, to step into their shoes, even if it's just for a moment. It's about building bridges of understanding, one conversation at a time. So the next time you find yourself in a conversation, remember this: you've got 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Use them in that proportion. Listen more, talk less, and watch how your relationships transform. Being a good listener doesn't just make you a better communicator, it makes you a better person too. Did you know that your body speaks volumes even when you're silent? Indeed, the realm of nonverbal communication is a fascinating one, brimming with potential and power. It's a form of communication that transcends language barriers and speaks directly to our inherent human instincts. Nonverbal communication, you see, is a language of its own. It includes body language, facial expressions, and gestures, all of which can convey a spectrum of emotions and intentions. It's like a silent symphony, where every movement and every expression plays a note, contributing to a melody that echoes your thoughts and feelings. Now let's delve into body language. Imagine you're at a meeting and you're slouched in your chair with your arms crossed. Even without saying a word, you're sending a message, perhaps of disinterest or defensiveness. But sit up straight, lean in a little, maintain eye contact, and suddenly you're radiating confidence, attentiveness, and openness. Moving on to facial expressions, a smile, a frown, a raised eyebrow. These are all universal codes that can speak louder than words. When your face is aligned with your words, your message becomes more persuasive, more authentic. But remember, a smile is not just a smile, and a frown is not just a frown. They must be genuine to truly connect and resonate with your audience. Then we have gestures. These are the exclamation points and question marks in the sentences of our body language. A thumbs up, a nod, a pointed finger. They can add emphasis, affirmation, or direction to our spoken words. But be cautious, as gestures can also be culturally specific and may not always translate across different societies. In essence, effective nonverbal communication is about aligning your physical cues with your verbal messages. It's about being aware of what your silence is saying and ensuring it sings in harmony with your words. Your body language, facial expressions, and gestures can make or break your communication. So be mindful of them. After all, in the orchestra of communication, you're the conductor, and each silent note you strike will shape the melody of your message. Ever been stuck in a conversation where you just couldn't understand what the other person was saying? It's like trying to decipher a secret code without the key, isn't it? That's why mastering the art of using clear and concise language is crucial in effective communication. Now imagine you're baking a cake. The ingredients are your thoughts, and the recipe is how you present them. If your recipe is too complex or your ingredients are too exotic, your guests may not appreciate the cake. Communication works in a similar way. You want your message to be digestible, relatable, and to the point. Let's dive into some tips to make your communication more understandable. Firstly, use simple words. You're not writing a thesis, you're conversing. The use of big or complex words can create unnecessary barriers in communication. Remember, the best communicators are those who can express complex ideas in the simplest terms. Secondly, avoid jargon. Every profession has its own set of specialized terms. But unless you're talking to someone from the same field, those terms can create confusion. It's like trying to explain the process of photosynthesis to a 5-year-old using the word chlorophyll. You might as well be speaking another language. Lastly, be concise. In an era where attention spans are shorter than a goldfish's memory, you have to make every word count. Rambling or beating around the bush can make your listeners lose interest. Think of it this way. If you can't explain your idea in a tweet, you might need to simplify it. So, there you have it. The art of using clear and concise language is about making your message understandable, not about showing off your vocabulary. Remember, a conversation is like a dance. It's not about the individual steps, but about the overall rhythm and flow. Remember, the goal of communication is not to show off your vocabulary, but to make sure your message is understood. And with that, we've reached the end of this scene. Stay tuned for more tips on mastering communication in our next scene. So, what does it take to be a master communicator? Well, as we've explored in this video, it all starts with understanding the basics of communication. This means recognizing that communication is a two-way street. It involves both delivering and receiving messages. And it's not just about what we say, but how we say it. Then we delved into the power of active listening. It's about truly hearing and understanding what the other person is saying, responding appropriately, and showing that you value their input. This is a game changer in any conversation. Next, we looked at the silent speaker, the nonverbal cues that can speak volumes. Remember, your body language, gestures, and facial expressions can either support or contradict your words. Finally, we tackled the art of using clear and concise language. Be direct, be simple, and avoid jargon whenever possible to ensure your message is understood. Mastering communication is not an overnight process, but with these tips in mind, you're well on your way to becoming a great communicator.